Now, it seems like the Twitch Adpocalypse is finally here, and some of the largest content creators are finally speaking out about how much money they're losing. Now, if you don't know, to simplify the whole issue, there's essentially a little war that's taking place on Twitter right now, mainly about the whole political discussions and content creators being banned. This sort of sped up on the platform after Asmongold got banned on the platform, which sort of brings out on the platform a lot of hypocrisy because some content creators are sort of being punished while others are being protected, like Hassan. Now, there's too many players in this whole thing, but essentially there's a side of Twitch streamers and content creators who are voicing their opinions to go to the viewership and actually voice their concerns to the advertisers themselves. And if you're not aware, the whole platform sort of runs based on advertisers paying the platform, which is then split with the content creator. And some content creators are talking about how they're down nearly 80 to 95%. The stock guy was fully transparent about how much money he's losing.
I average about $100 to $200 a day in ad revenue, right? 5 days a week. You're talking about $600-700 a week. You're talking about $2,800 a month. You know, $3,000 a month. I make about $8,000 a month on average, and sometimes 9, right? So it's about 40% of my, sometimes 50% of my income. I'm averaging $15, $15 fucking dollars in ad revenue. I'm disabling ads. I can't disable all of them. Nobody can. They automatically run. But I'm just going to stop fucking... Don't know what's going on. I have no idea. I don't pay attention to the shit on my platform. I have nothing to do with it. I'm sitting over here in my own little fucking corner, doing my own thing, having a good time, and I'm getting destroyed. I worked 6 goddamn months on a big-time sponsorship, a long-term sponsorship. I worked my ass off on this, and they pulled on me.
Now, a few things to note about the stock guy. He's essentially in one of the highest paid RPM/CPM niches, which is business, finance, investing. But one thing that he talked about is a sponsor pulling off platform, which is essentially hurting his personal business. Now, he talked in the chat of Asmongold and essentially said how a sponsorship reached out to him saying that they don't want to deal with the issues on the platform and are essentially going to be shelving a deal. And what this means is that the advertisers actually still want to be on platform. It's just the whole ruckus and the whole issues that are being brought up they don't want to deal with and have a whole public perception come down on them. But on the other end, there are content creators like this giving their crazy takes.
I go and check my ad revenue, and yeah, I'm not getting ad revenue. I'm not getting the correct ad revenue. Now, the issue with this is I don't even have tags in my name. I don't talk about politics. I don't do anything. And my ad revenue went from $10,000 plus at some points per day to now like $2,000 a day. So from someone who was making upwards of 5 figures a day, now only making $2,000 a day off ad revenue, something's wrong. Something's going on where my ad revenue is not correct and it's not what it should be. If I want to make $2,000 a day, I'll go be a fucking mailman, okay? So Twitch, if you don't fix my ad revenue and put it back to normal, I'm not going to be streaming on the platform. I don't care. I don't do this for fun. I don't do this.
Now, it's clear like something like that is obviously clip farming because the hyperbole of how much money he's making. No one feels bad for someone making $3.6 million a year. And, you know, it just comes off wrong talking about how he'll make, you know, $2,000 a day being a mailman when we know that that's not the case. They're probably making like on average around $50,000 a year, but that's not the point. But having someone who's at that point level elite, you know, it's hard to feel bad. So I feel like a lot of, you know, points need to be made that the average content creator is not making that much money. They're probably making around $100 a week on average for most content creators, because if you were to average out on the entire platform, most content creators are only seeing maybe 5, you know, viewers, not the whole, you know, 100 to 1,000 viewers, which I think Kai Cenat is currently breaking around 400,000, you know, which is crazy. But I can only imagine that the money that they're losing at that level versus the percentage level of the average streamer. But the main reason this is changing is because viewers, the actual people who are consuming the content, are not voicing their concern to Twitch, the platform itself. They're voicing their concern to the actual advertisers who are paying Twitch. And when something like this happens, right, there's overall public perception that the brands still want to hold. Think of a Nike or an Apple. You don't want a mass amount of viewership, essentially users of your content, vocalizing the disdain for the platform, saying that you're being, on the same platform as, anti, whatever X here. And you don't want to have that kind of perception. So essentially the advertisers are going to withdraw, but they still want to be on platform. And this is where I believe that the advertisers aren't leaving, just like in the case of, the stock guy, where they're not going to fully leave the platform. They're either going to, wait a quarter or two, or they're just going to completely, decrease how much money they're willing to advertise because they have, the entire control in their hands. But it's clear that Twitch has to do something. They're not going to take the loss of revenue sitting down. And even though they have Amazon as their entire, loss leader reason why Twitch as a video management service is still around, they still have to do something to remain or try to make profit. And this leads into Twitch updating its overall hateful conduct policy. And specifically, it talks about the Zionist policies. Now, their update on which they plan on enforcing simply just talks about how it's designed to protect the community from attacks based on a person's protected characteristics such as race, nationality, religion, sexuality, and the policy prohibits harmful behaviors like suggesting that a victim of harm deserves it or is sharing a hateful image, which I guess in the entire discussions of politics has sort of turned into the overall rhetoric, the hateful behaviors. Now, I'm not on that. I've only seen clips of that, which are one of those things that it's a bad public perception of the platform. Now, personally, I see them going the whole route of the YouTube adpocalypse, which happened back in 2016, 2017, which essentially what happened was there was a bad public perception on YouTube's platform. The advertisers wanted to withdraw. So what essentially YouTube did is that they demonetized, terminated, or lowered the RPM, CPM for multiple accounts or multiple types of niches to overall disincentivize the entire production of it, so the content creators wouldn't make it. And that's one way that Twitch can go about it, but there's another way that they can overall change the platform, because again, the advertisers have full control in this, and that's going to be completely terminating or trying to section off the different types of categories that they don't want on the platform. This can be an outright termination of political or overall controversial streamers, and even large content creators like Mizkif talked about this.
I personally just wish politics were permanently banned off Twitch. I really do. I think a lot of stress and a lot of problems will be gone if they're just like, hey, you want to be political? Get off the website. You want to be a political boy? Go to Twitter. Don't do it here anymore. I swear. I think all political streamers should be banned. If you're really political, then get off. Because if we can't handle it with the ad, if it's gonna affect ad revenue for everybody, it's gonna ruin the website. You might as well do it anyway. You have to. You have to. Hassan gets banned. If it affects every content creator losing ad revenue, which also might affect the entirety of Twitch, Hassan should get banned. Absolutely.
Now, this is likely going to force those banned or terminated content creators who are getting less ad revenue on Twitch to essentially migrate to other platforms like YouTube, Rumble, or Kick to voice their controversial opinions. Now, overall, I wanted to just talk about this because I truly believe that advertisers aren't fully withdrawing from the platform. I've seen people talk about how 70 to 100% of advertisers are trying to leave the platform, and that's not the case, because essentially what they're doing is they're trying to obviously monetize a business, right? So you're going to try to leverage as much as you can, because advertisers are hearing a vocal majority come and talk to them saying that, there's hateful rhetoric on the platform. So essentially what Twitch could do is revert back to the old days and essentially be just a major gaming platform instead of seeing, topless bikinis and controversial political takes. But let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. If you like conversations like this, don't forget to like and subscribe to the content. Peace.